Hello everyone, this is Satish Kumar. So I'm here with a lesson, a skill that is required for any person who wants to be successful uh, uh, working in any organization at any level. Okay, so this is about communication. Communication. We are going to learn about communication very systematically. Okay, in terms of an organization and managerial skills and executive skills. Okay, uh, see, I don't need to tell the importance of communication to you. All of you would know that communication skills are a very important skill. Okay, see, in these days, the recruiters, okay, when they are looking for a candidate for any position in their organization, what is the skill that they look most? Communication comes in the top 3. Okay, communication skills come in the top 3. And if you are a person who is going to be recruited for a managerial position, an executive level position, or a director, or if you are going to be recruited to a higher position in any organization, communication skill will be the number 1 skill they will be looking for. Okay, so communication skill is such a very important skill. In fact, even if you have very little poor communication skill, when you join an organization, your promotion to the next level in the organization, and if you want to reach that managerial level position, no, your communication skill will play a very important role. Okay, in fact, there is this survey taken about the effective managers, how much time they spend in an organization working on different functions. Okay, a manager, when he is working in an organization, how much time he spends on different activities. So if you see a manager who spent in an organization for traditional management functions like planning, decision making and controlling, no, that is only 19%. And he spends another 26% of his time on human resource management. Okay, and another 11% on networking. Okay, and the remaining 44% on ordinary routine communication in an organization. So nearly 44% is for ordinary routine communication in an organization a manager performs. If you have to be an effective manager, you have to do such so much of time communicating, even the routine communication, that is 44%. And please also note that we saw that networking 11%, no, it is also mostly done by communication. You can't network without communicating. So that 11% will also be part of your communication skill. And human resource management, most of the human resource management functions involves communication. Okay, you cannot effectively manage people if you don't have a good communication skill. So again, that 26%, most of the 26%, there will be part of communication. And the traditional management functions like planning, decision making and controlling, some of those work has to be done by communicated. Okay, you cannot make decisions without communicating with others. You cannot control people without communicating. In fact, one of the major function of communication is controlling. Okay, so communication is for a manager to be effective. That is why I said, if you are going to be a manager, the skill that they are going to look for you is communication. Okay, so communication is a function that will be a manager's full-time work. Okay, 70% of the time a manager is involving in communication. That is what the final thing is saying. 70% of that time, higher level executives, middle, if you went to an executive position, no, 70% of the time will be communicating. At the lower level, you may not be that much. Even there, you need some communication skill to work efficiently and effectively. So if you go upper and upper, communication skills occupies a very, very important role in any organization. So such is the importance of a communication skill, and without communication skill you cannot function effectively. You will not be an effective manager. That is the reason all organizations, when they are recruiting for people, they will look for communication skill, and developing communication skill is very vital. And we have to be very clear about certain myths about communication. Okay, first, speaking is not communication. Okay, speaking is not communication. If speaking is communication, I am a very good communicator. No, speaking is one part of communication. Okay, speaking is just one part. Okay, there are other forms: reading, writing, listening, observing, expressing, body languages. There are multiple things involved in communication. So communication is not only about speaking. Even while doing all these things, if you cannot get your message to the other person, okay, that is not communication. You are not done a proper communication. See, the aim of this class, the speech that I am giving, is for you to understand what is communication and the importance of communication. If I did not give enough information, if I do not convince you that why communication is important and what is communication and all these things, no, the aim of this communication is dead. So I merely give a speech and you wasted some time. Okay, that is how it should be seen. This speech that I am giving will become a communication if you understand this properly, and if you get something from this, and if you could understand what is communication like that. Okay, so communication is, the basic myth is speech is not communication, and there are other forms of thing like writing, listening, all other will be part of communication. So a lot of things are communication. Even a body language, a sign, just a simple expression could be communicating. You will communicate your sadness to others by being like this. You will communicate to others that you are angry by a look. A father or a mother will communicate to their child if they are angry by just a look. They won't even say a word. Okay, the child will understand our father is angry. They are communicated. Okay, so communication is multiple forms. Okay, so speech is not communication. So first, get out of that myth. Okay, and other myths associated with communications are, right, communication is always speaking. No, not like that. Communication is not always speaking. In fact, if you speak always, it is not communicating. Communication requires some amount of listening also. Okay, listening is part of communication, and you will not be an effective communicator if you are always speaking. Okay, so that is why when you are dealing with other person, when you are communicating with other person, you should not always speak. You have to listen. So listening is a major part of communication. In fact, all good communicators are very good listeners. They have very good listening ability. Okay, so what is communication? Now we'll see the definition of communication. So the communication is an act or process of using words, sounds, signs or behavior to express or exchange information. Okay, or to express your ideas, thoughts, feelings, like that, etc. So communication is This is, see, why one of the things that communication is not well understood is there is no single definition for which encompasses all the details of communication. But I have tried to give this definition which is somewhat good. Okay, so communication is act or process of using words, sounds, signs, behaviors to express or exchange information, or to express your ideas, thoughts, feelings, etc. So I may have a thought, I may have an idea, I may have a information, I may feel something that I should convey to other persons. Okay, and I may use variety of ways, like I may use words, I can say these things to the people, I could use sound. Okay, if I want somebody, if I am in a class, if I want two of my students to remain silent, I don't need to ask, can you please be silent. I could just look at them in a serious note that will make him realize that I am asking him to not to speak. Or I could say, hey, just a small sound. Or you could also express by your behavior. Okay, sometimes when you are you may use your body, your some of your expressions, all these things, any signs. Okay, you may ask a person to, like that, that is also communication. You want that person to come here, you use a sign. So communication will involve all these things, but the most important part is oral communication. Okay, that is why speaking is viewed by majority of the people as communication. So when speaking is just one form, but it is a major part, but there are also other ways to communicate also. Okay, and all of those things are very important to if you want to be an effective communicator, you have to understand all those things. Okay, so one other definition about this as I said earlier, no, there is no one single definition which encompasses all the thing about communication. So that another definition is here. Communication must include both the transfer and understanding of meaning. So in the previous definition we saw, I am having an information, I am expressing it by different ways. That is what I said in my previous definition. But I did not mention about anything about understanding the other person, whether he got that or not. Okay, I may be giving a class for 2 hours, giving a great speech, having plenty of information, having all the data, PowerPoint and all those things. But if the students did not understand anything, that is not communication. Okay, that is a boring lecture. Okay, most of the time we encounter that. Okay, lot of us. So a communication should involve understanding by the receiver, only then it will be called as communication. So this is the basic definition of communication. So what is a perfect communication? See, perfect communication, if it existed, it means it is transmitted to the other person the way I thought that information. If I wanted to, and if I had an idea, and if I could convey to other person the way I thought, that is called the perfect communication. But never we could have a perfect communication, because the thought that I had cannot be conveyed by myself exactly the way I thought. I may have I could not convey that, and he will not perceive. Even if I convey the way I wanted to convey, he will not perceive it, but he could somehow understand some 70%, 80% of what I thought. That is good communication. In fact, we can always expect for effective and good communication, not a perfect communication. Perfect communication is never expected. In fact, that is not at all required. If you get some information from this class, I made a communication. I cannot expect you understand each and every word that I spoke. That will not be possible. By the end of this lesson, you will get some idea, okay, about communication. That is the aim of this communication. Okay, this class. Okay, okay. So we saw what is communication and the effectiveness of communication. So good communication skills are very critical for our career success, and these days very critical for getting a job. If you want to get to a job, you need to have a good communication skill. And communication skills not only have information sharing and information making others understand, it is also involved getting along with people. If you have a good communication skill, what it means is you are able to get along with people. Okay, if you are a good communicator, if you could not get along with people, that means you are not a good communicator. Again, so communication skill is also very important for interpersonal skills, and people who lack communication skill will always have interpersonal conflict. Okay, okay. So now we have seen all the importance and basic definition of communication. Now we'll see the functions of communication. Okay, we will see in this lesson everything that is related to communication. We will see the definition, we will see the importance that we have seen already. We will see the functions of communication. Then we will distinguish between the process of communication. What is the communication process? How the process happens. We will see each and everything in clarity, and we will also see the formal and informal communication. What is formal communication and what is informal communication? And we will also learn about the verbal communication and non-verbal communication. We will see all the difference, and we will also see about the levels of communication, like upward communication, downward communication, lateral communication. We will see all those levels of communication. We will also learn about what are all the barriers to communication. In fact, that is very important topic. What are the barriers to communication? In fact, most of us will try to communicate to others, but we don't know the barriers, obstacles to communication. We will study that, and we will also study how to overcome that barriers. So that is the aim of this lecture. Okay, so first in this class we so far studied the definition and importance. Now we will see the functions of communication. What are all the functions of communication? See, communication basically serves 4 major functions. Okay, if you are working in an organization, it will serve 4 major functions. Okay, first is it helps control. Okay, second is motivation, third is emotional expression, fourth is information. We will see one by one. Okay, so these 4 are the functions of communication. It helps to control, it helps to motivation, it helps in emotional expression, it helps in sharing information, sharing and understanding information. Okay, so we all know that organizations have hierarchy. Okay, if you are working in an organization, there will be a boss, then there will be a manager, there will be different department heads, and there will be members working in that organization and different department heads. That is the hierarchy. Okay, a formal organization structure. And this formal organization structure will be used by managers for controlling the people. For example, the work to be done will be done by this formal network, and in all these formal networks communication is used. Okay, a manager, a boss will have an idea, he will convey it to the manager, manager will convey it to the different department heads, and the department heads will convey to the subordinates. So the work gets done. This is the formal channel and of control, and the same hierarchy will use by people who are working at the bottom level to convey any grievances they have. What is the job condition, what is the how their work is progressing, they will communicate to the superiors. So control will be done by this way. Okay, in fact, this formal organization structure, this is for formal organization. There is also informal organization, we learned that, right? Informal organization is nothing but people that are not part of the formal organizational hierarchy joining together to speak, to communicate. Okay, so informal communication also could be used for control behavior. Okay, for example, if a work group members join together to harass a particular member who is working too much, they are using informal communication. They are not using any organizational channel. They are just mocking him. They are just making fun out of him because he is working too much. So they are using some informal communication to control his behavior. Okay, similarly, in the organization, managers could also use these informal channels to convey a message. Okay, for example, if the company is planning to fire people who are not working well, who are not working effective, no, the manager could just throw a bomb to some people inside an organization by saying to them that a company may fire people who are not working very good. Okay, and that person will go and rumor it to the as a gossip to all the other employees, and this message will pass very fast in the organization, and all of them will get alert and they will work hard. Okay, so formal channel is there for, see, enough. If the same manager could use a formal channel, he may say to the different department heads that we are going to fire people who are not working with the higher productivity. Okay, that could be a formal communication. But he could also use the informal channel like this. He may speak to somebody, he may gossip to somebody like that. A company is planning like that. Okay, and he may even use some proxies. He may use some subordinates to do that. Ask some people to talk that. He may not even involved in that. And these will be happening in organization, and managers, people in the management level should know these, and they also should use these informal networks. So communication control is one major function. Second major function of communication is motivation. Okay, it is only through communication management will speak to the employees, and employees will speak to the management of what to be done, how much work they have to do, and how much they are doing, and what can be done to improve their performance, how to motivate them, getting the feedback, and how to motivate them. All these things could be done only through communication. Communication, only by communication you will clarify what is required from your employee. Okay, so communication plays a very important role in motivation also. Okay, then communication is also used for emotional expression. Okay, see, in my previous class, somewhere around in my previous classes, I said that work group, that is the organization that you work, will be your primary social source of your social interaction. People make friends with the groups they belong. They don't make friends randomly at a park. Sometimes we make, but not all people. Most of the people will make friends in a group they belong. Like if they belong to an organization, if they belong to a family, if they belong to a club, like that. Okay, so this work group will be the primary source of social interaction. And if an employee, if a manager, anybody who are working in an organization, if they have a grievances, okay, they will express it to their members. Okay, and communication will help them to do that. Okay, see, if they could directly go and talk to the management by expressing, that was one form of emotional expression. They could also speak to the informal network in an organization, to some people, that they could vent out that emotions. Okay, so emotional expression is also part of communication. In fact, we all want to vent out our emotions to someone. and communication helps us, and especially informal communication is very helpful in emotional expression. Whenever we feel that we have some problem with someone, no, informal communication is very good. We cannot directly contact that person and say I'm having this issue with this, but we could use an informal channel to get that message to that guy. We could use, I often use that. If I want to convey a message to one person, I will use the another person who is close to him to convey that message, and that person will take that. Okay, in fact, that is how you will solve a problem without too much conflict. If you are going to express that thing to that other person directly, no, what will happen is it will result in some sort of conflict, and that guy may have some ego problem, and he will also have some emotional outbursts, and we both may get involved in some sort of fight. So it is better to convey this to the other person. Very, very effective. Okay, informal communication. So emotional expression is very important. See, I have been talking about informal communication. An organization, there are two forms of communication. One is a formal channel, one is a informal channel. Both these channels are must, and manager should know both these channels. In fact, they have to rely a lot on informal channel. They should not be so fixed, rigid to follow the formal channel. And in these days, informal channel will be far more effective than formal channel. Not only these days, any day. Okay, that doesn't mean that you should not use in a formal channel. Formal channel should be substituted by informal channel. And if you want to get a message across very fast, very effective, use informal channel supplemented by the formal channel. Okay, so the fourth major function is information. So the communication is the basic method by which we convey any information that we have. If a manager wants to convey information to an employee, he uses communication. Okay, this may be by any method. He may use verbal communication, he may use written communication, he may use oral, written, or he may even use non-verbal communications like other body language. Okay, anything. Okay, so we share information. So these are the four major functions of communication. Okay, so in this class we learnt about the importance of communication, and we also learn about the definition, and we also learn about the functions. In my next class we learn about the communication process, and we will also learn about other things related to communication that we talked earlier. Okay, bye.